Hi, good morning, everyone. We are the group 7. And before we start to present our report this morning, we encourage everyone to please listen to this short message.
So for our brief message this moment, let's go through our Bibles in Proverbs 18 verse 24. It says right here that a man that had friends must show himself friendly, and there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. So we will be talking about equal sharing and relationships. So it is true that you don't need to be a friend to everyone. So remember that the model is Jesus. So he preached, he ministered to and healed thousands of people, but he only had 12 disciples. So of those 12, only three were invited with him when he was transfigured on the mountain. So in our life, we should have always have some people whom we nourish and who return title or nothing to us. You should have, or we should have also have people who nourishes us, but we may not return nothing to them. And the third one is equal sharing. So this is friendship. All three categories are important, but don't refer to the first two as friendships. The first one is your ministry to someone else, and the second type is someone's ministry to you. Only the third, equal sharing, is through friendship. That would be all, and God bless.
Okay, let's pray. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, um, as we start our report, may you be with us, guide us, Lord. Uh, Guide our lips, Lord, nga ma masaysay na pag-ayo ang topic na mo i-share sa classmates. Forgive us our sins. That's all I ask. In the name of Jesus.
And lemonade, surviving change in difficult times. Curveballs, according to Merriam-Webster, eh, curveballs represent a difficult and unexpected problem, situation, or questions, while lemonade, it is a phrase used to encourage optimism and positive attitude in the face of adversity or misfortune. So what would you do if life throws you a curveball? Or what do we do when life throws us a curveball? Some would say hit it, others might respond get out of its way. The term curveball taken from baseball is a frequently used idiom in American English. In baseball, a pitcher may throw a curveball to confuse the hitter. Although launched with low velocity, the throw has a high spin which causes, causes it to take a sudden, unpredictable arc as it approaches the plate and the person at bar. The rate of speed and sudden downward turn trick the hitter into overestimating the ball's trajectory, which often results in a strikeout or worse, being struck by the ball. And so, as an idiom, the term means a tricky, typical, unusual situation due to the change in direction into unusual place. In early 2020, the world was thrown a global curveball. COVID-19 emerged slowly, picked up momentum, and continues to take arcs that no one can predict. So, let me share my story during COVID-19. So, last 2020, me and Miss Garces worked at Science Building as a assistant officer at Claveria. It was March 2020. I cannot remember the exact date, but what I cannot forget is the memories. It was a busy and hectic day for us ni Miss Garcesa. Kay both Ma'am Murada and Sir Dale do the laboratory that supposed day. We prepared everything but except this one reagent. Okay, fast forward, Ma'am Murada scolded us because of that missing reagent. But thankfully, someone came and solved that problem. While Sir Dale and Ma'am Murada students, mm, okay, so while the students performing the experiment, our former president, Doc Flores, asked to gather all the students alumni church to have a emergency meeting. So nabiyaan ang experiment ug wala pa jud sila katunga, but we expected na magbalik sila after the meeting. But unexpectedly kami pod ipapauli sa among dorm kay tungod na lagi di ay ni COVID-19. So disappointment ako na feel ato na moment kay grabe na among effort to solve that problem, pero na pero na baliwala lang siya, no, kay tungod lagi sa unexpected na problem. But despite of that circumstances, me and Tim cannot help but smile and happy kay walay klase o walay laboratory. Muna mong kalipay sa na pag walay klase si sir or walay laboratory si ma'am, no? So curveballs are a normal and expected part of our life, and sooner we get used to it or that idea, the sooner we can move on rather than let those inevitable get you down. However, they are a great way to improve yourself as long as you take the necessary steps to recover from the unexpected and keeping moving forward. So, like the hitter at the plate, each of us must decide when and how to swing and what to do in the aftermath. One well-known quotation says, "When life throws you a curveball, hit it out of the park." Or you may be more familiar with the proverbial, "When life gives you lemons, make lemonade." So in print, both aphorisms might sound comforting. The prospect of making something good out of something terrible fills us with optimism and hope. Yet in reality, the unpredictability of life can cause anxiety, worry, fear, heartbreak, sorrow, and a bevy of other emotions that can leave us drained, overwhelmed, and feeling hopeless. And so finding practical ways to journey through very dark periods is essential for survival. Here are a few steps that I have found helpful.
Now, in continuation, for finding practical ways to journey through very dark periods of life, we have this 5 helpful tips. So the first one is finding and anchor. So as shown in the slide, there's an anchor. So who is this anchor? Well, you guessed it right. This is Christ. So we, as a follower of Christ, can find anchor in biblical promises. Also, in prayer, in daily Bible studies, and staying connected with supportive, positive, and people in our lives. So writer Priscilla Owens asked that question: will your ankle hold in the storms of life? So in Hebrews 6 verse 19, it says right here that we have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure. So imagine yourself fishing in a vast sea of ocean, and then you find this place, a spot where you can get fish. So in order for you to stay on that right spot, you need an anchor. that will hold you, that will make a steady position so that you can have more fish. So one practical ways to journey in a very dark situation is finding an anchor, and that's Jesus. The next one we have is feel the feelings. Now, suppressing our feelings all along. So it says in our slide that we must acknowledge our limitations as human beings living in a simple world and accept the grace that only God can give us in 2 Corinthians 12, verse 19. So at other times, however, when everything goes wrong and we strike out, or life takes a horrible turn and we have no power to stop it, and it may even knock us down or throw us off a balance, we must permit ourselves to go through process of mourning and loss and experiencing feelings of discomfort. So how can we tell that we are genuinely happy if we haven't been we haven't experienced sadness at all in our life? How can we tell that it is black if we haven't seen white? So both complement each other. So individuals who take time to process difficult traumatic experiences are better able to withstand difficulties in the future. So the second one is feel the feelings. Another illustration is that if you have a ball and you're in the sea and the ball represents your feelings, and when you try to suppress it and you push it downwards in the water, in the ocean, so the more you push it, the more it will bounce back to you. So the more the recoil, the more damage it will get. If we try to allow us to recognize it, to feel the feelings of discomfort and grief. The third one is staying connected. So we all know that from the last 2 years, we had COVID-19, and staying connected was rather difficult, I would say. So we have social distancing. It was really necessary during the pandemic. However, this led to increased social isolation. So there were people, um, even friends that were, isolated because of uh, the pandemic, and they were very alone. And we can all agree that this past 2 years have been very difficult for almost everyone, especially for older adults. Okay, many of us really lost loved ones. Yeah, I am one of that. So we have been unable to grieve in loss in traditional ways since there was a protocol that when someone died in the family during, you know, it's just after um, the spread of the COVID-19 that you should bury them um, after just a few days. So it was really difficult in our part. So we need connections to other people. We have this what we call belongingness, but let us remember that being surrounded by other people doesn't guarantee a sense of belonging, right? So belonging comes with the quality, the interaction that we have, because it's the interaction over time which are supportive of us as full, authentic human beings are very important. So, as individuals, navigating this challenging period of history, building and maintaining connections within our homes, school, place of work, and worship are essential to our survival. I'll give the time to our third reporter, but
The fourth one is be adaptable, flexible, and open-minded. Almost every day we hear statements and questions about when things will go back to normal. From the ominous times have changed to the optimistic. This is the new normal. Many people wonder if life will ever go back to the way it was before COVID-19. Um, the world has changed. The Greek Basto, sorry. Mawala. Nigawas sa galit. Eh, pwede rin makat ang
wait,
galit ha?
wait. Jello, excuse me, Jello. Napaka?
Yes, kuya.
Otro.
Sige. Balik ka,
Basta
balik ka.
nawala ko galit. Balik.
Sige. Okay na. Sige.
The fourth one is be adaptable, flexible, and open-minded. Almost every day, we hear statements and questions about when things will go back to normal. From the ominous times have changed to the optimistic, this is the new normal. Many people wonder if life will ever go back the way it was before COVID-19. The world has changed. The Greek philosopher Heraclitus said, change is the only constant in life. But before Heraclitus, King Solomon reflected on season of change. There's a time of everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens. He proceeded to catalog these seasons of change, birth and death, planting and uprooting, building and tearing down, peace and war. Ecclesiastes 3 to 1 to 11, the Apostle James challenged us to acknowledge that our lives are vapor. We do not know what the future holds. He wrote, why you do not even know what will happen tomorrow? What is your life? You're a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. See James 4:13 to 15. Change is inevitable. In our individual lives, we must learn to adapt and be open to it to survive and make a difference in our homes, places of work, and places of worship. The fifth one is express gratitude. Ultimately, find ways to express gratitude each day. Intentionally find something to be grateful for. No matter how small, research shows that gratitude changes the brain over time by generating more activity in medical prefrontal cortex, the decision-making area of the brain. Gratitude also has a psychological impact on heart and mental health. It stimulates it stimulates lower blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, and cortisol, promotes better sleep, and much more. We are encouraged to give thanks in all things. Psalms 118 and Philippians 4:6 to 7. God has promised beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and the garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. See Isaiah 61 1 to 3. When life is sour and unpredictable, it may seem counterintuitive to express gratitude, but there is power in reflecting on the positive as we face the negative. The psalmist David said, when hard pressed, I cried to the Lord. He brought me to a spacious place. The Lord is with me. I will not be afraid. Psalms 118, 5 and 6. Amid, amid very dismal circumstances, we can experience confidence and calm in the presence of our anchor, Jesus Christ. We hope the articles um, we hope the articles in this issue inspire you and stimulate ideas for improving instruction, nurturing spiritual growth in our schools, and connecting with the communities in which your schools exist. Above all, may you find ways to encourage your soul as you navigate these difficult times through anchoring in Jesus Christ, experiencing solid connections with others, and celebrating with expressions of gratitude for the many gifts God has provided. That would be all, and thank you.